Hello everyone, it is MisterStubstep and I'm back again with another value discussion, this time finishing up Shining Fates with the Shiny Vault, which contains 122 cards, and all cards go for over $1 on TCG Player, so I did include them on this, I almost said playlist, on this spreadsheet, so let's break it down. And for those of you that want to skip the intro and me going over all of these columns and everything, you guys can look at the timestamps down below just to go right to the card discussion. But for those of you this is the first time watching these types of videos, I'll explain everything for you. So I do these videos in order for everybody to kind of see a snapshot on how the set is in the moment. And then I basically just discuss what cards I think will do well in the future, which cards are good to hold, purchase, whatever. And I mean, it's all my opinion, but I just like to have the discussion in general, and I like to bring people together that have some knowledge on this type of stuff. So we'll start out with the spreadsheet is as of 13 to 25 January. So I think I did majority of the PSA 10 population numbers like 24, 25 January, and then I did a lot of the actual sold listings the first half of that. I know it's like a huge time span, but in reality, like a lot of these things aren't going to change too much. And it took a long time to put all this stuff into this Google Sheet. So yeah. I have some color coordination. It doesn't really apply too much anymore since PSA at a minimum is charging like $100. So if anything, I wouldn't even send a card unless it's in the green, but that's just me. I'm not sending anything right now because it's too expensive. And then the release date of the set was 19 February. I've already gone over the main set in a previous video that I released last week. And then this has 122 cards. So yeah, pretty crazy. It's even bigger than the main set, which I feel like it shouldn't be like that, but also why not? So the card is very self-explanatory. If it's in black, I will not be talking about it. And if it's in red, I will be talking about it. I don't have any of them currently italicized because I forgot to do that. But if it's italicized, I have the card. If I have the card, I'll let you know, but it's not too important. Rarity, all of these are shiny holo rares. Some of them are Vs, some of them are baby shiny, some of them are, you know, the V maxes, but at least according to like their rarity, they're shiny holo rares. But I mean, we can be a little bit more specific as we go on, but you can kind of see a lot from the name. Raw TCG players, the TCG player market price rounded down to the nearest dollar. Grade, I try to find PSA 10s because it is the most common like grading company that's used with Pokemon still, like buying and selling. Sold price is the last sold listing, rounded down to the nearest dollar, but I am including shipping now. In a lot of my previous videos, I didn't include shipping. I don't know why I didn't. No, somebody should have called me out on it. I'm including shipping now because when you purchase something, one of the main things that determines whether or not you purchase it, if there's shipping and what the cost is. Like, I'm not going to order, you know, something from Europe when the shipping is like double what the actual item that I'm trying to get is, you know, or maybe I will because I'm desperate, but who knows? Because, I mean, if you're willing to pay that shipping, that means you're willing to pay that price for that item. Date of sale, when that listing ended or sold. I mean, once again, there's no way of confirming whether or not they were paid for or sold. But if I see like a listing and then immediately it's listed afterwards and probably that first listing didn't go through, then PSA 10 population, the number on the left is the number of 10s, and the number on the right is the number currently registered with PSA. All right, so we will start with the double V, and here's the thing about this set. It's kind of like a huge, you know, grand opening of all the Pokemon of Generation 8. That's why the majority of these Pokemon are Generation 8 Shinies, which turned a lot of people off because, you know, when you have Hidden Fates really focusing on the first generation of Pokemon. I mean, there was other good ones sprinkled in there too, but mainly highlighting a lot of Generation 1 Pokemon. I mean, this set, it has, you know, of course it has Charizard, it has a few others, but it really is focused around that Generation 8. And I know for now, it's not the most hype set or what people are really liking. I mean, everybody loves shiny Pokemon, but I'm telling you, down the road, something like this might be good. I mean, just imagine how you feel about base set from 20 years ago. And then I don't think it'll ever be as good as, you know, some of that stuff. But I mean, kids growing up nowadays, like this is their first Pokemon experience. So they're going to have a little bit something special in their heart for, you know, a double or something. I mean, double's a bad example, but you know what I mean. So we'll start out with double V. It is a V card, so it's like a full art shiny. $2 ungraded, PSA 10 still for $39. That was in December. So you probably noticed along the November, December time frame, prices they weren't super high like the previous year's November, December, but they're a little bit higher because, you know, it's before the season of spending and holidays and all that stuff, and people like buying stuff. And then as soon as, you know, that year kind of churns, that's when stuff starts dropping. And people don't have as much spending money. We have the Wooloo. I love shiny Wooloo. I love any shiny that their shiny is a huge contrast in color from what their original is. $2 ungraded PSA 10 still for $45, so even greater than the double V, which I find hilarious. 7 out of 13 graded to 10. You'll see the ones that have been graded a lot within this set, the ratio is pretty easy. Like, these cards are not very difficult to grade at all. I mean, it's modern, but then this set overall isn't too bad. We have the Rowlett, Generation... Ooh, almost at 8. Generation 7 starter. And a PSA 10 sold for $28. This isn't a very good artwork of Rowlett, so that's why, I mean, in my opinion, it's still a shiny starter, but it's not that great in my opinion. $28 PSA 10, 3 out of 5, graded at 10. We have the Grookey. There is the Generation 8 starter, and look at that. Monkey sold for $92 in a PSA 10. That's not bad, and that was fairly recent. Beginning of January, 7 out of 11 graded at 10. This is actually a good-looking card, and it's a Generation 8 starter. Telling you, down the line, who knows? Starters are just, I mean, when you first turn on a video game or you first watching the series, it's one of the first things that happen is a new starter is chosen, or all the starters kind of go to different trainers, and then you go from there. We have Snom, very cute. A lot of people reference it as like, it's like a booty. This is one of my favorite Pokemon in Generation 8, but the 10 only sold for $21, unfortunately. Snom was kind of like a meme, and I thought the meme power would increase its price a little bit, but that's probably already died by now. 3 January of this year, 4 out of 6, graded at 10. We have the Dragapult. So Dragapult, I think, is one of those sleeper Pokemons. Even Pokemon, I said Pokemons. Oh, no. Dragapult is one of those sleeper Pokemon, in my opinion, because like right now, it's Generation 8 Pokemon. Not super popular because, you know, everyone prefers, you know, they're Gen 1, they're Gen 2, they're Gen 3, they're Gen 4, whatever they started out with. But Dragapult, like, it's a cool Pokemon. It's the kind of, like, pseudo-legendary dragon Pokemon of this generation. And a lot of people like it. And then there's a lot of people like me that, you know, have that appreciation for those older generations. But they recognize that this is a cool design. It's a cool Pokemon. I mean, Ghost Dragon. And then the final evolution shoots its babies at each other. Like, that's pretty cool. Enough ranting about Dragapult. And at 10, it only sold for $33. 7 out of 10, graded a 10. We have the Sobble. Very nice. Another Generation 8 starter shiny, which to me I think will always be decently collectible. PSA 10, $58. 7 out of 9, graded a 10. We got the Score Bunny, the final of the trio. Really cute card. I think artwork-wise, this is probably the best-looking shiny starter. I really like this card, and I actually have this card in my collection. I was very happy. PSA 10, $55. 9 out of 14, graded a 10. And then we scroll down to the Graplocked. I'm not sure why I put the Graplocked as one to talk about, but I mean, I probably wanted to rant about Graplock being a fighting type instead of a water type. I remember catching one on the water, and I was using all these moves, and I'm like, what type is this? That's one of my favorite parts of Pokemon, and then also a frustrating part when you run into a new Pokemon and you have no idea what is super effective against it. Because, I mean, as a kid, you were probably, like, struggling with, like, gym leaders and all that stuff, and then, you know, if you've been playing for a while as an adult, like, everything's easy mode. Like, you know exactly, you know, what's super effective and what's not. PSA 10, $70. 1 out of 2, graded 10. We are going to be scrolling past a lot of these. Sorry, there's no point in me talking about every single one of these. A lot of them are, you know, more or less the same. I mean, you have a few outliers, but I mean, you can look at these from yourselves. Down below, I do have links to all these spreadsheets. I've done all the X and Y sets, Sun and Moon sets, all the Sword and Shield sets up through Shining Fates. And I've done like promos and McDonald's stuff and a bunch of all that stuff in between. And I'll have a link to a playlist for all those videos down below too. A link to the spreadsheet and a link to the playlist. We have the Ditto V, another card that I have. Good looking card. It's a Generation 1 Pokemon. Why they chose Ditto, not sure. Shiny Ditto is very cool though. A PSA 10 selling for $105. 115 out of 132 graded 10. So let's look at that. A card that's actually seriously graded. Really good PSA 10 ratio. Like really good. We will scroll down. Oh, wow, there's a lot. And then, of course, you know, you have Lapras and stuff. Ducklet. So, I wanted to talk about Ducklet because PSA 10, $45. 2 out of 4, graded a 10. Nothing too special. But I just remember Real Breaking Nate. I don't really watch him too much anymore, but I used to watch him a bit. He would rage about Psyduck not having a baby shiny in any of, like, the Hidden Fates or Shining Fates sets, which I feel like Psyduck deserves one. Like, Psyduck has a decent presence in the anime, has some moments in the video games, like in Generation 2 when the Psyduck are blocking the way and you have to, like, scare them or squirt water on them or something. I can't remember, but yeah. And Ducklet got a shiny. Like, what the heck? All right, and scrolling down, we have the Centiskorch PSA 10, $63. $3 ungraded, so not too expensive. 2 out of 3 graded 10. Centiskorch, this Pokemon's kind of been growing on me. There's, other, like, centipede, millipede-like Pokemon, but, I mean, it's an interesting Pokemon. I like it. And I'm sorry, but that alt art of the trainer, Kabu, of the fire gym, like, running, because he always, like, jogs around. He's like an old man that jogs everywhere. Him jogging on the Gigantamax Centiskorch, oh, my gosh, it's just peak artwork. All creamy. Getting another card in the shiny vault as well. PSA 10, $53. This is just a nice looking shiny. It looks like a good dessert. 3 out of 4 graded 10. We have the Galarian Zigzagoon, a great card. I wouldn't say a stable card, but a very useful card in the TCG right now with its ability. Once you enter play, you can throw a damage counter. PSA 10, $55. And yeah, Galarian, Zigzagoon, and that whole line are really cool because they're normally black and white, and shiny, they're red and white, and really cool shiny forms. We have the Rillaboom VMAX, another card that I have. PSA 10, only $50. I would think that a card like this would go for a little bit more. 92 out of 111 graded a 10. Maybe it'll slowly increase in the future. I personally think it's a really cool card. Shiny Rillaboom, fully evolved starter. I really like this card. I think it has potential, but it's fairly cheap right now. The Toxtricity VMAX, PSA 10, $79. So this might be controversial, but out of all of the artworks in this set, like just in general, like shiny VMAXs, the Toxtricity VMAX, I think this is the best looking card in the set. It just looks clean. Like if I was a 10-year-old kid, I would think this is like the coolest thing ever. PSA 10, $79, 68 out of 78 graded a 10. I always wanted to pull this card. I never did, but yeah, I mean, it's only $5 ungraded, so not too expensive if I ever really wanted to buy it. Lapras VMAX, another beautiful one. PSA 10, only $37, surprisingly. There are a lot of PSA 10s, 190 out of 219. Looks fairly easy to grade. If I would have pulled this card, I would have graded it because it's so beautiful. We have the Yamper, another cute little dog Pokemon. I believe Sonia had one, and then it evolves into Bolton. But PSA 10, $75. Very cute doggo. People love their dogs, and Yamper is just really cute. And if it's a Pokemon that has a signature trainer as well, that can help. 3 out of 6 graded a 10. We have the Eternatus V, which may think that's boring. It was another reprint, but it was a gold and black card, and I believe, I'm thinking back, because before Shining Fates was vivid, yeah, this was the first gold and black card that came out for Sword and Shield, so I'm almost tempted just to pick these up because of that, but now with the upcoming sets, it seems like they have a whole bunch of gold and black and pink and black and just a whole bunch of different versions of these types of cards. But PSA 10, $81, 160 out of 218. Also, dark decks enjoy Eternatus V and Eternatus VMAX, so there's that. And then scrolling down a little bit more, we have the big hitters to finish up. We have the Galarian Rapidash, another one that I pulled. Really like this card. It's Mystery's favorite Pokemon. PSA 10, $85, 10 out of 14. So I know there's like Ponyta and Rapidash fans out there, and there's also like I kind of put like Ninetales and them in the same boat. But the Galarian Rapidash and Ponyta, they're just on another level for some reason. I think it might be because if you remember when Sword and Shield was first being like teased and released, they had a trailer where it just had that forest. I forget what the forest is called. I feel bad not knowing that. But they had the forest, and then there was a little bit where you see a Galarian Ponyta kind of run across, and it looks like cotton candy, and so cool. And you think it's going to be a fairy type, and then it's a psychic type, but that's besides the point. Galarian Rapidash, hopefully mine comes back a good grade. I have the Galarian Ponyta, another beautiful one. I think this artwork is even better than the Rapidash. CGC 9.5 sold for $30. I imagine if it was in a 10, it would sell for something similar to the Rapidash, maybe even peaking at 100, who knows? I'm sure there's been ones in the past that sold for that much, but the prices of all these have kind of come down because Shining Fates has been printed so much. 7 out of 10 graded a 10. The Ditto VMAX, another contender for the best artwork in this set. I pulled a bunch of these. I think between Mystery and I, we pulled 3, I think. PSA 10, $55, 162 out of 188 graded a 10. This one's kind of fallen from grace as far as price goes, but in my opinion, it's still a beautiful card. And Teleon, really good card in the game. PSA 10, $83, 7 out of 11 graded 10, and it is the fully evolved water starter from this generation. And then the Drizzle, probably the most competitive card within all of the shiny vault. CGC 9 selling for $23. It's just really expensive ungraded because people want it for their deck because people love Drizzile. And if you can have a reverse or a shiny, that's what people are going to pay for. 3 out of 6 graded to 10. And then the Suicune. Really wanted to pull the Suicune. Its price has actually been holding up pretty good. $22 ungraded. And a PSA 10, $223. And there's not a ton of Suicunes out there. 52 out of 84 graded to 10. Personally, I think this is a beautiful card. I imagine with all of the backup at PSA, every month there's probably going to add a bunch to these population reports. And speaking of a lot in the population reports, we have the Charizard VMAX, which I think if you combined every other card graded in this set, it would still pale in comparison to the number of Charizard VMAXs that have been submitted. $122 ungraded. Actually a fairly cheap, highest rarity Charizard card. Not bad. PSA 10, $465. Definitely not as expensive as it used to be. I mean, this card used to sell for over $1,000, and now it's kind of fallen. I'm sure the black label is still a pretty decent price, but $2,766 out of 3,263 graded to 10. So once again, not too difficult to grade. I mean, there's more 10s than anything else. And then we can scroll down to some averages. These averages will be slightly more interesting. We have, let's look, we have V cards averaging about $50 in a PSA 10, which I was kind of surprised out, but I think the, which V card improved the average? I don't know if any V cards are that expensive. I mean, Turtles is 80, Toxtricity 79. Oh yeah, I guess everything is just kind of around 50 though, so that makes sense. So if you pull a shiny V card, it's not too bad. Baby Shiny's averaging a little bit more at $52, that's cool. I only included the PSA 10s in the calculations. I didn't include any of the CGC or PSA 9s or anything. And then the VMAXs, of course, going up a little bit more because, you have the Charizard kind of pulling it up to the higher end. But yeah, surprisingly, fairly low averages. But I mean, if you open up a Shining Fates Elite Trainer box, you're probably going to pull at least, one V or one VMAX or a couple shinies, so there's that. The master set is still the same. They had a few other ones selling, but they were best offers, or they included a bunch of different graded cards. But on 9 January, one sold for $620, which isn't bad. Booster pack still chilling about $6.76. ETB went up about $4 since the last video, which I did almost 2 weeks ago, so that's interesting. And of course, there's no booster box for a special set. So yes, that is all of Shining Fates. Massive set. I'm kind of tempted to collect a master set of it, but I never pulled a Charizard, so I'm not. But I'm kind of tempted because it is so cheap right now, and I feel like this is just one of those sets that people are like, oh, it sucks. But then down the line, they're going to be like, oh, Shining Fates, Not maybe, okay, not quite like Hidden Fates or anything, but Shining Legends kind of fell in the same way. Everybody scoffed at Shining Legends. It sat on the shelves. I mean, I saw ETBs and collection boxes of Shining Legends for years after it came out. And I just feel like Shining Fates has slightly more to offer. I mean, it doesn't have OG Shining cards, but I mean, it has Baby Shinies, which everybody loves Baby Shinies. And it has a Charizard too, so yeah, that's pretty much all I have for this video. As far as collectible tiers go, I'd probably give Charizard the top tier, and then Suicune the middle tier. And then I'd probably give the starters, Galarian, Rapidash, and Ponyta. I'm a huge proponent of the gold cards, so the Eternatus V and VMAX I think have somewhat of collectability. The Lapras, I like the Toxtricity, and the Ditto. I think they all have potential for a low-tier collectability in the long, long run. But yeah, overall, the Gen 8 Pokemon are just way too new. I mean, the chances of Pokemon just falling off a cliff, within the next few years, very doubtful, especially with the new Legends of Arceus game coming out. Actually, by the time of this video, it should be out. Oh, no. It actually will come out tomorrow, which super excited for that game. But yeah, overall, this set's not too bad. The Shiny Vault definitely helps out the main set since the main set was very lacking. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you have an opinion, please let me know down below. If you agree, disagree with anything that I said, please let me know. Or just let me see what your opinions are on the set. If you have sealed product, if you have the complete set, please just holler down below. That's all I have for this video. Once again, a bunch of links and stuff down below if you're more curious, or you want to copy and paste this somewhere and maintain your own thing. By all means, be my guest. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, and there'll probably be a little bit before I do another one of these. But if this gets good feedback, then maybe I'll speed it up a little bit. Thanks so much, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.